This is Project 98.9. Over the next 36 weeks, we're going to document something I've been avoiding for a long time. On the surface, it looks like a bloke trying to lose weight. The goal's 98.9 kilos. But if this was just about the weight, I would have done it years ago. This is really about the stories that we tell ourselves and how they mess up our lives. I'll start next week. Life's too busy. I've got to have the perfect plan. I'll do it when things settle down. The problem is, they never do. So each week, Mick and me, Leigh, we're going to sit down and have an honest conversation about what happened. The wins, the setbacks, the stuff that goes on in my head, and the hundreds of lessons I'm going to learn as we go. We're going to hear from people who face their own dragons, whether it be weight, alcohol, relationships, anxiety, whatever it is. From working with hundreds of men, I think we've all got something we're avoiding. I don't know how exactly this ends for me though. I don't know whether I'll get to 98.9, but I do know this. For the first time, I'm going to stop hiding from it. So if you've got a dragon too, I'd love you to come on the journey with us. Mick, let's get started.
Leigh, I've got to tell you, when you sent me the document, it's got 98.9 on it. I'm thinking university radio station. I'm thinking you want me to bring my vinyl collection in. Yeah. I'm obviously here to fill dead air. Like, what shift are we doing here? 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. or something like that. Yeah. But it's weight-based, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the significance of 98.9 as a number? Like, you could have plucked any number. Why 98.9?
On 98.9 for me, look, obviously I coach guys, right? And so to a degree, pretty fucking good at it. But there's always that one thing that I haven't sort of tamed. And through all the work I've done, through everything I've learned from a mind and a soul perspective, even the body stuff, I've never been able to crack under 100 kilos. So what I'd constantly done, and probably the last 15 attempts I've had, I've really worked through this 99 kilos. I want to be 99 kilos. So it sort of got to a point where I realised how much avoidance I'd been running. But I just went, you know what, fuck this. It needs to be a different number because I'm associating failure with that number of 99. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I went to 98.9. And when I thought about 98.9, one of the funny things about it was I went, you know what, that's pretty cool, right? Because I feel like with my life, it's fucking amazing, but I feel like it's in mono a little bit. So we talked about mono and stereo. I went to the same thing. 98.9 kind of sounds like a radio station. So for me, that was a big thing. So significantly, it's about me being able to see life in stereo where I stopped being limited by the fact that I feel like a failure because I never got there. So 99 is the number. 99 was a number that represented failure. 98.9 represents opportunity.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Tell us about your coaching. I've been coached by you, and first session through Unstuck, one of your programs, and now through Unlock. It's a great experience, and yeah, you are bloody good at it, and so are your team. Just give us a little bit of background for those that are watching, listening, that don't know you. What's the elevator pitch on the work you do?
Yeah, look, we work with men, and one of the big things that we're all fighting, and I fight it with this, right, is this thing called performance-based self-esteem. And what that really means is that we really believe that we are only measured by what we're capable of doing. And the great part about that is it gets us out of our comfort zone, it gets us to push for these goals, and it gets us to push for things. But, you know, to be fair, if you think about the amount of goals you try and set, most of the time we don't actually achieve them, right? We don't actually achieve them exactly as we make them out to be. You know, and you think about it logically, every year, if you love your sport, right, every year there's, well, Commonwealth Games are on at the moment. How many people have been the Commonwealth Games gold medalists for the last 5 years that are a failure because they didn't make it now? So the work that we do is around helping men understand that, number one, but then completely change their mindset and sit there and recognise that they're valuable as they are right now, but that by slowing down, they can actually go a shitload faster. By slowing down, they can focus on what matters most and put their time and attention into those things as opposed to kind of constantly grinding, constantly doing those things. And, you know, this is where there's that kind of juxtaposition between, oh, I've got to get through the grind, and you have to do some things that are fucking boring at the end of the day to be successful. And then finally being able to dream again, right? And being able to say, hey, this is the life I want, and actually design it, rather than kind of, you know, we talk about floodlight and flashlight a lot, right? But that flashlight of going from one thing to the other all the time, but we don't really think about it. We just kind of, this thing bobs up, we go to that, we go to that, we go to that. So being able to teach men how to see the bigger picture and then choose where they put their attention and time, which are limited resources, That's what we're about.
Do you find that there's times in life, and maybe it's benefit of having done some of your courses and slowing down myself and started to recognise this more in mates or just people I see in the community or day to day and even in our neighbourhood and our street. There are times of life for blokes where change occurs and there can be a bit of a slippery slope. Relationship with your partner changes, a relationship with this new person, you're trying to negotiate that. Everything slows down, you're drinking more, not exercising more, and you start to slide. And in my early 40s now, unfortunately, know a lot of guys that are getting divorced, and it's the same thing. Life as normal has stopped and they don't know where to go, and it's the same pattern down a slope.
Yeah.
Do you see a bit of that with the people you work with?
No, absolutely. This is the thing, right? We're not taught how to focus on those things. And, largely as far as the coaching is concerned, that's what we're about, right? Is you're not taught a system to be able to regulate yourself. Yeah? The regulation comes through beers or the punt or a weekend away with your mates, or you're waiting for the holiday, and I'll just keep working hard until I get to the holiday. And this is the thing, I guess this is probably part of this project, is understanding that even if you get a lot of the things right, there'll still be that thing you're avoiding. And for me, that's been my weight. Yeah. And the interesting thing about it is that underpins probably my confidence still in so many areas. Yeah. Even in front of getting in a camera, like in front of a camera. Like I know the impact we're having on men's lives right now, but I don't want to get in front of the camera because I don't like the way I look.
So you'd never pick that. Watching you and listening to you, you'd never pick that confidence or self-confidence related to, say body image, right, really is what it is. You'd never pick that you've got an issue. So obviously we get pretty good at masking things too.
Fucking oath we do. This is the thing, and this is what all of us are running. We're all running a lie of some description. And this is not that it's a bad thing, right? You'll choose what dragons you want to tame. Yeah. And there's probably 3 or 4 we've all got, right? The thing about mine is it's visual and it's visceral, and I feel it all the time. Kind of where this came from was I was on my way to a holiday. We went up to Noosa in the school holidays, and I started to write down where I wanted the business to go and for us to get to the level that I want. And some of the things I really want to do is I want to work with elite sporting organisations. I want to get back to doing some of the things I've been doing previously rather than just working in this space. But the thing was I started to really look at what's holding me back, and it's me. I think I'm a fucking fraud. Like this is the internal language, and this is what we don't realise, right? And this is where you kind of get pretty emotional about it, because I believe I'm a fraud because why the fuck am I 130 kilos? And, that's hard to say, but why am I 130 kilos and here I am telling men how to live?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck do you think you are, Leigh? This is that internal voice. Like, that voice is loud, and forget about the impact you're having. And then all of a sudden I can't take compliments at work because of this. This is the fraud that I feel, if that makes sense. And,
understand.
And so that's why when I started going through wanting to take the business to another level, what I realised was this is the thing that's actually holding it back.
Yeah.
Is actually me. And that's kind of then was like, well, do I do this on my own or do I share the journey? Because if I'm feeling like this, how many other men feel like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, through this process, have you given thought to what evidence you're going to look for along the way? Is it purely number on a scale? Is it your performance when you're going for a walk or a jog? Like, what does evidence look like for you through this process?
That's a good question. So the evidence for me, first and foremost, is, and what I've realised, I spoke about that deviation before. I really want to get back into what are my standards. And what are the boring standards I need to meet for me to be 89.9? Oh, sorry, 98.9. And those standards are pretty simple, right? They are more often than not, 90% of the time, over the next, doing maths too, 280 days, drink 2.5 litres of water a day, minimum, right? For me these are my standards, This is what success looks like. Doesn't matter what the scale ends up being. This is the first measure, right? 10,000 steps a day, right? Because 20 minutes of functional movement a day, 20 minutes of being time in the morning, 20 minutes of taking action, 150 grams of protein, right? And
life changer, that one.
we have all these, and I'm sure I can refine it. I can say less carbs and all this sort of stuff, but these are the simple things, that I look at it, I go, am I going to be successful if I do these things? I've got them on a sheet. So for me, and I've only started them 2 days ago, so I've literally just started. We've got all greens at the moment. But for me, that's what the first measure of success. If I can hit 90% of those over 280 days, how fucking good is my life going to be? Yeah. So that's kind of the first stage. So, and it's really interesting because this is where we talk about and you know this because of the work we've done, right? We talk about moving from how to do stuff into allowing yourself to become the version of you that's already done it. Yep. And that might sound wishy-washy to people, but everybody's done it, right? Again, we speak about athletes. They visualise themselves having done this thing so they can bring that energy to today. So that's the other side of it, right? So I've just given you the action part, right? But I'm going to be proud of myself if I can do 90% of that over 280 days. And I'll share that openly with everybody, right? Where I'm at, is it green, yellow or red? Did I hit all of those markers every day? What does that look like? But the real piece for me is the fact that I trust myself again. Yeah? That I can walk into a room and feel like I really trust myself. That I can walk past a store and buy whatever I want off the rack. That I can stand up on a surfboard. I'm hardly a skier, but I want to be able to ski properly.
Mate, you want those budgie smugglers at Noosa too. Well, I can see you just strutting down
it'd be great.
the main street, the Silver Fox kind of thing.
That'd be
people
good.
going, there's Russell Crowe.
There is a bit of that. But so I think that's the thing for me. So that's, when I talk about it, and that's going to evolve, and that's the other part. That's what I'm really excited about this journey, is allowing it to evolve instead of always having to have the answer now, because that's what stops us from starting. And it's such a good question you've asked for that reason, because that stops everybody from starting. The amount of times I've stopped, even at the moment, like I'm sitting there going, okay, I'll give you a really simple example that could be of benefit to everybody, right? So if I fast to 12, my first meal, I know it should be largely protein. So I get in here yesterday, I only had eggs and I only had bacon in the fridge, right? Now I'm sitting there going, fuck, that's not what I want to do. I want to have chicken and I want to have, I want to have eggs and I want to have spinach and I want to have mushrooms, and I didn't have it all. Now in the past, I can guarantee I know what I would have done. I would have made a bacon and egg muffin, right? And said, I'll start tomorrow when I get everything. But I went, just fucking have 4 eggs and have the bacon. Like, fucking, you're going to be under there's an amount of protein in that. There's more fat. It doesn't matter, right? Just fucking do it. It's amazing what happens when you brought that mindset of the future version of you. And that's where I went to, right? And this is where we'll talk about manifesting and kind of an ecosystem for this stuff down the track. But that's where I went. What does that guy do? Well, he's just adaptable. He just gets on with shit. It doesn't matter. It's easy to make decisions. And it was so easy to bring that energy because I'd manifested it. And that's why I'm really confident that I'm going to get there on this journey.
So if your standards slip, you have an off, everyone has off days, right?
And I'm planning for off days, right? I'm planning for 10% of off days.
Absolutely. And you've got that awareness, you've got the mental tools to be able to bump yourself back on track. But there's still going to be those days where you don't hit those 7 or 8 standards. How do you feel about, I guess, meeting that challenge? Because initially when you're building momentum and the positivity is there, it's easy because it's new and exciting. We're doing this project and this is going to be great. But come 2-3 months' time when
you're in the
grind is on,
absolutely,
and you slip up.
Hey, you know what? This is one of the things. I've craved certainty. We spoke about having to know how. I've craved certainty. That's the only way I'm going to do something is if I know, right? This is why we have an 80-day challenge or a 90-day challenge, and I know that I've got a date in the distance. I really do care if I get to 98.9 kilos. I'd love to get there. But if I end up 102 kilos and I've hit all the markers along the way and I've gone on this journey and I've gained all this from being there, that's what this is about. It's not a destination. So it's not a 90-day challenge at the gym where...
it's not a race. You're not racing yourself to there by this day.
So I think that's the thing for me, is how am I going to handle that? I don't know how I'm going to handle it, but I'm going to handle it with curiosity. Because that's the beautiful part of life, right? When you handle things with curiosity and fun, that's where I'm going. Because I've made this such a heavy thing in the past. I've got all the tools. I've got everything I need right now to achieve it. That's the thing that most of us don't realise. It's just that I've got a path to go on. There's things I need to learn, and I'm going to be open and curious to that. And I think I'm that anyway. But like you said before, I'm like that with my clients and doing stuff for. How do I get better at my coaching? I can apply this here. For me, this is my way of applying it to my clients, not sitting there going, how do I add this into the systems we've already got? This is just for me.
So, and you mentioned your daughter, and obviously you're sharing this journey with the world, whoever wants to consume it. You're having a conversation at home too. So what do your wife and kids think? How have you explained it to them? What context do you put it in?
Pretty hard because the amount of times I've told them I'm going to be under 99 kilos, or 99, highway to 99. I've had fucking that many false starts. And it's like, I'm almost embarrassed, right? So for me, it's kind of, there's a bit of shame attached to it almost, about saying, fuck yeah, it's really going to happen this time, And even the other day, I ordered I was ordering some protein powder and shit like that. And it's almost like I wanted to come in the back door now. Whereas in the past, I'd be sitting there going, yeah, look what I'm doing, and even this, there was some question marks about sharing it this way. Or am I doing it for me or am I doing it for everybody else? No, I'm doing it for me, and this is just another layer of accountability for me. But also I think there's plenty for me to learn. So when I spoke before about doing it for me and sharing this story for me, and I don't mean that to sound completely selfish, right? But by doing this, I'll be able to extract later on what I need to extract that can help the people that I work with.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to saying, I've done this, now how do I extract that now? Yeah, let's do the whole journey. Let's go through that. So for me, there's that, as far as the family's concerned, I think there's kind of a massive degree of skepticism, right? And I'm always trying to get it perfect, and they see it all the time, and it's like, fuck, you make plans and this is going to happen, and you've almost eroded trust with them.
Yeah, okay.
And I hate that about this part. Like,
it comes back to that trust conversation, doesn't it?
That's what fucking gets me upset. It hits me in here when I go, fuck off. How many times have I shown I've given my kids opportunity not to trust me? Given my wife opportunity not to trust me because I said, no, I'm going to do it this time. And that's that's hard.
Yeah,
mate.
absolutely.
When you look at that, and that really, and as I say, when this is on your mind all the time, every time you've got a camera in front of you, every time you're doing something, you're sitting there feeling like I'm feeling, and it's, so in answer to the question, I wanted to come on the journey for them. I think it's going to be exciting to have them call me out on some shit along the way, and, am I really prepared for my wife to call me out on my shit? I don't know, maybe, but I'm going to bring that curiosity to it now instead of getting shitty when she says, you said you're going to do this, but you're doing that. So in answer to the question, that I'm kind of doing it because I don't know.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's all right not to know, and I think that's the point.
How they feel, right?
You can have all the best laid out plans in the world for this, but there's elements that you don't know, and that part of it, like they're around, your family's there every day. You are living through this with them, and they're their highs and lows, whether they're noticing or not. Probably the first bit when it's all new, it's like, Dad's doing this, that's pretty good. And then as it becomes norm, or if you slip, whatever, it'll be what it is. Yeah. And that's the unknown bit.
And how good would it be when it becomes normal, right? When I actually fucking eat normally, and I've slayed the dragons or tamed the dragons on having a drink here, or coming inside after I've had a bit of a win at work. Because working from home, I found that's been a challenge too, because I come inside, there's no one here, and I've had a bit of a win at work, and there's no one to talk to, so there's a pantry over there. So we'll go and have some sort of fucking pantry candy and, make ourselves feel better, and you're not feeling any better.
It's a great name for a horse, that pantry candy. That's really good. It is. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to in sort of sharing these conversations with you through this journey, is hitting on those unknowns. Like what was uncomfortable? What did you think would be hard that actually wasn't that hard? Like, what did you love? What did you hate? Yeah. All of those little elements that you'll discover yourself and learn about your thresholds, I think is another important bit, because you're not going to, it's not so much a training regimen, is it? You've got your 8 standards. That's, I guess, the general pathway to where you want to be. Yeah. But you're keen to try different things. You're keen 100%. To go on longer fasts. You're keen to do a little bit of intense training. You're 100%. Keen to try new age stuff, or the sauna craze, all those different elements.
100%. I think that's part of the journey, right? But the thing is too, that what I can do with that is I can show that I can deviate. So this is the thing. Like you said, we were talking before about beliefs, and there is part of the dragon that serves you. Yep. Me wanting to deviate all the time is just me wanting to find a new way, me being curious, right? But what that leads to is me changing the standards, as opposed to saying these are the standards that are not negotiable. And I'm going to stop negotiating with myself around those basic standards, I can deviate, but only if it's not at the expense of the basic standards, And if those basic standards can be tweaked slightly, I'm open to that, But those fundamental sort of 7 or 8 standards that are set, they can't be deviated from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
The rest of it's a journey, right? The rest of it's curiosity. And the avoidance stuff, like, I've avoided this for so long. I committed to getting blood tests 2.5 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. It must have been about November. And it was every blood test imaginable, right? So I could get a marker on where my health was at 2.5 years ago. Yep, now's my time. You want to talk about avoidance? And this is why I want to be honest. I don't know how many other men can relate to this. 2.5 years later, I still haven't done it. 3 times I've had to order them to send out the saliva test because they go off, right? 2.5 years it's taken me to do it.
Wow.
Because all I'm worried about is, I'll just do 3 months before I go and get the test done. Because that'll mask what's really...
That'll tidy me up a bit, that'll clean a bit of stuff up.
Yeah, that'll mask the shit that I've done to myself. So, that's one of the great parts about this curiosity. I got the blood test this morning, so I finally fucking went and did the blood test this morning. But there's so much fear attached to it. Like, what's it going to tell me? What's it going to show? And
how bad am I guess? Because then you've got context.
Yeah, that's right. And it can't be good because I know I'm overweight. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I can't expect it to come back and be surprised and all of a sudden go, oh shit, maybe I have been looking after myself the way I should. I've always been an exerciser 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. That's never been a problem. But it's the food and shit. Like, what have I done to myself internally? So, getting that line in the sand over the next few weeks is, that, again, when I talked about curiosity on what a marker's going to look like, I think that's going to give me a heap of pretty cool markers on, on what success looks like.
The blood work's going to come back and everything that goes along with that.
I've got a
You're
DEXA
also doing
test as well.
a DEXA test. So for those that haven't had one or don't know what it is, it's basically a full body sort of MRI that gives you all the measurements of visceral fat, where you hold your fat, your bone density, your muscle density, all of that physical stuff, which is really cool because as you progress along, 3, 6, 9 months time, you go and get another one, you'll see the change.
Yeah.
And the way they present them, it's like a little rainbow image of yourself with different things highlighted.
Yeah.
And you'll see those things changing.
Yeah.
So even if in the mirror every day, recency bias doesn't show you what's actually happening, things like that will, and things like your blood will. So I think that's good to get those benchmarks. So
definitely,
you can remind yourself, like, shit, I'm making progress here.
100%.
This is good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As I said, curiosity, staying in that state of, because I know the guy that's at 98.9 is sitting there saying, "Hey, you got this. Just fucking be curious, follow the path, learn, work out what you need to learn, work out what areas do you need to grow in." And and part of that is I feel like there's value in sharing that.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to be about weight loss and fucking trying this and trying that, because I really want to talk about what a lot of the mindset stuff is, because the amazing part is when I talk about having everything I need, 100% I've got everything I need. Already. So being able to share a lot of those things and getting curious, bringing people in when we feel like the right time that we think might be of use to people to be able to understand on the journey. I think that's the other opportunity that this presents by doing it the way we're doing it.
Mate, I think it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I'm as curious as you are, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we both learn through this and talking to different people, some experts in different fields that we're keen to get on and have a conversation with as we go along. Mate, every week, coffee and a chat.
Coffee and a chat, mate. It's done.
What could be better?
Nah, absolutely, mate. It's out in the universe, right?
Yeah.
98.9, it's happening.
Podcast, YouTube.
Yeah.
This is the new wave influencer.
It is. Here we are. All good. Thanks, Mick.
Thanks, Leigh. Looking forward to it.
Me too, mate. Good man.